Now, a shocking incident of rape has been reported in Karnataka where a 27-year-old Israeli tourist and a 29-year-old homestay owner were, in fact, gang raped near the Sahapur Lake, close to the UNESCO World Heritage Site in Hampi. The incident happened on Thursday night. The male tourist from Odisha who was with the women was pushed into the Tunga Bandra left bank canal by the assaulters and was found dead as the body surfaced. According to the police, the victims were part of a group strategizing and playing music by the lake when three bike-bound men approached them and assaulted them. 6 police teams were deployed to track down the culprits. In fact, 2 people have been arrested till now, while 1 person remains to be at large. While the 2 injured tourists are receiving treatment at a government hospital, while search teams recovered the Odisha man's body from the canal on Saturday, nearly 24 hours after he went missing. Well, a shocking case coming to fore from Karnataka. In fact, what we are getting to understand, a 27-year-old Israeli tourist and a 29-year-old homestay operator were gang raped. In fact, my colleague Waji Ullah joins us on the broadcast to give more details. Waji, definitely a very shocking incident coming to the fore. What you can tell us in the latest when it comes to the probe? 2 have been apprehended, 1 still remains at large.
Indeed, yes, a very shocking incident that shocked everyone today morning. This incident happened late last night when one person from Israel, the girl, and the 3 other tourists were sitting at a homestay with the owner near the Tungabhadra river at the Sanayu Lake, and having a time after having dinner. They were sitting there and stargazing, playing music and the guitar and having a good time. That is when a person approached. 3 people in a bike approached them and asked them for petrol, is what we've been told. They said that they don't have petrol and there is no petrol station nearby. So they started demanding them to give 100 rupees so that they could somehow survive. When the people said that, when the homestay owner said that they don't have money, one of the group members decided to give them 20 rupees and send them off. After which these people started fighting among themselves, and then they suddenly started attacking the homestay owner. We've been told that the homestay owner was first attacked. She was a lady, 29-year-old. She was dragged to another room and there she was raped. Then another person attacked the foreign official who's from US. He was attacked and pushed in a canal when he went missing after that. And the other 2 people who were there, who were believed to be from Odisha and Maharashtra, along with the Israeli lady and the US tourist, they were with them. And then the other assailant then raped the Israeli lady, and then they stole 9,500 rupees from the wallet and fled the scene. So this entire sequence that I've just narrated itself is shocking, and it can give you an idea of what could have transpired and how horrific that night could have been for these people. One of the tourists who was there is believed to have died in the canal. The other 2 ladies are at the hospital where the medical thing is taking care. The police, as we speak, have arrested 2 people, Mahesh and another person named Chetan. Both are of the Gangavati region of that particular area, and the Gangavati police have been arrested. The charges that have been leveled against them are very serious charges. Let me just tell you about what they are. One of them, the case will be registered at 309,
Yes.
311, 71, which is gang rape, and they've been charged under extortion, gang rape, and robbery. So this incident has shocked everybody in Karnataka, but the police tracked down and the arrest of 2 people has brought some relief. The other person is believed to be a close aide of the other 2, and he's been missing. The search for him is also on, yes, as we speak.
Absolutely, Waji. Absolutely gory details coming in from Karnataka. Do stay on with us. We need your inputs on the other story we're tracking here at News9. Now, in a big development on the gold smuggling case involving Kannada actor Rania Rao, CBI has now taken over the probe. CBI has filed case against the actress Rao in the gold smuggling case based on the information from the DRI officials. In fact, CBI officers have intensified the investigation in Mumbai and also in Bengaluru. The investigation agency has also registered a case against International Gold Smuggling Syndicate. A CBI team arrived in Bengaluru to work closely with the DRI, intensifying the probe into Rania Rao's alleged involvement in the larger syndicate. The move seeks to uncover deeper connections and ensure a thorough probe. In fact, public servants involved in the smuggling are also on investigating agencies' radar. Meanwhile, CBI teams will be intensifying the probe and will find out if the gold smuggling racket is operating at the national level. In fact, what we are understanding, the actress was arrested at the Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru on Monday night after she was found in possession of 14.8 kgs of gold. My colleague Wajula remains to be with us on the broadcast. Well, Waji, it seems that the problem is only mounting for the actress over here, and now CBI probing this very issue raises a lot of pertinent questions. The ambit of this investigation is being widened by the cops and, in fact, by the Central Bureau of Investigation. What do you think is going to be the further course of action by the CBI? We are understanding a multi-pronged approach has been taken by the investigating teams.
Absolutely, yes. The case itself is big enough for all these agencies to interfere and enter into this, because 14.98 kgs of gold from the Karnataka International Airport is one of the biggest hauls from an individual that has been done so far. And the person who is being caught also is not a small person. She's an actress who's done prominent films in Karnataka. And that is why the ambit is bigger. And what we also know is that the CBI is taking care over this investigation very soon. The DRI, which has already been doing the investigation, have a 3-day custody of Rania Rao, where in their confession it is said that Rania Rao used to travel a lot, and they believe that there is a larger nexus in this particular scam, and there are powerful people who are behind this, because on a daily basis, on a regular basis, if somebody is traveling to Dubai, getting 14 kgs or 12 kgs is a huge amount. And in this particular heist, also what we've seen is the inquiry that have been done. The DRI
Yes.
believes that she has to be investigated further, because they believe a larger nexus is behind this. There are more powerful people who have been behind this gold smuggling, because just yesterday also another person was arrested from the Karnataka International Airport. He was a blind person who was tied with gold around his waist of close to 4 kgs, which was amounting to 4.5 lakhs. So a chain of events of gold smuggling is happening in the way, and now the CBI is also interfering into the case and taking over the matter, because it brings out a larger nexus. What we also know is, because the amount is more than 50 lakhs, close to 17 crores, because the 2 crores were also found from her house in a level road. There's also a possibility of the enforcement directorate also
Yes.
interfering into this matter. So all these multiple agencies will be able to give us a better idea on what could have transpired in this entire this thing. So far, the Bengaluru police have seized all her laptops, have done a raid at her house, have seized all her belongings. A thorough check has been done. What is more interesting that they have found is the frequent international travel that was done by Rania Rao. Now, if I could just give you a travel history of Rania Rao, on the December of 24th, she flew to Dubai, returned on the December of 27th. This is for the last 4 months that I'm telling you. On the January of 18th, she stayed in USA for 7 days and returned on the January of 25th. And then she began frequent trips to Dubai. From February 2nd to March 3rd, she has traveled to Dubai 5 times, and it is believed on every of these travels she would have bought gold. She's also said in her confession that she used to get close to 4 to 5 lakhs for every kg of gold that she's bought. And in her last hire, it was 14 kgs that she's bought. So this clearly gives us an idea that a larger conspiracy may be behind this, a larger nexus, a larger group
Yes.
that may be operating this entire gambling, the entire gold bust deal.
Well, absolutely, Vaji, and it seems that the multiple agencies are going all out to probably discover something which is perhaps wider than it seems. Well, thank you so much at this very moment to give us all the details now. Meanwhile, a woman named Parul Kanwar has accused Air India of negligence after her grandmother was hospitalized in ICU due to actually she fell at the Delhi airport, is what is being said by the family member of this very lady, recounting her ordeal. In fact, this very post on X is also viral now. The woman claimed that her 82-year-old grandmother was left injured after Air India allegedly failed to provide a pre-booked wheelchair at Delhi airport. In fact, the widow of a decorated lieutenant general was left waiting for an hour and had to walk with assistance before collapsing. She also mentioned that no immediate medical aid was provided to her grandmother. In fact, in a detailed statement issued on Saturday, Air India said the claim that the women waited for an hour was baseless and said that a wheelchair was not denied. Airline also said that the family had arrived at the departure terminal much later than the recommended 2 hours before schedule. In fact, the Air India statement read, and I quote, "Due to the unprecedented peak demand at that hour, a wheelchair could not be made available within the 15 minutes that the passenger's relative spent waiting for it. The claims of the passenger having waited for an hour for the wheelchair are baseless. On their own accord, the passenger decided to walk along those accompanying her. She unfortunately suffered a fall in the airport premises. Upon noticing the incident, officials of the Delhi airport as well as the airport doctor on duty immediately attended her and administered first aid." Moving on, leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, is on a 2-day visit to Gujarat. In fact, Rahul Gandhi addressed Congress workers in Ahmedabad on the second day of his visit. Rahul said that Congress has been out of power in Gujarat for the last 30 years, but now there is a change, in fact, need for a change. Rahul advised Congress workers to get organized while stating that strict action would be taken against those who are working against party's ideology.
गुजरात रास्ता देखना चाहती है, आगे बढ़ना चाहती है, और कांग्रेस पार्टी, मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी का मेंबर हूं और मैं स्टेट से कह रहा हूं कि गुजरात की कांग्रेस पार्टी उसको रास्ता नहीं दिखा पा रही है। और मैं शर्मा कर नहीं बोल रहा हूं, मैं डर के नहीं बोल रहा हूं, मैं शर्मा के नहीं बोल रहा हूं, मगर मैं आपके सामने ये बात रखना चाहता हूं कि चाहे हमारे कार्यकर्ता हो, चाहे राहुल गांधी हो, चाहे हमारे जनरल सेक्रेटरी हो, चाहे हमारे पीसीसी प्रेसिडेंट हो, हम गुजरात को रास्ता नहीं दिखा पा रहे हैं। और हमें ये सबसे पहले, अगर हम गुजरात की जनता को रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं तो हमें ये साफ कहना पड़ेगा कि आज तक जो पिछले 15, 20, 30 साल जो गुजरात की एक्सपेक्टेशन हमारे से थी, मुझसे थी, हमारे पीसीसी प्रेसिडेंट से थी, हमारे इंचार्ज से थी, वो हम पूरी नहीं कर पा रहे। पहले ये बोलना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर हम ये नहीं बोलेंगे तो हमारा गुजरात की जनता से कभी रिश्ता नहीं बनेगा। और मैं यहां गुजरात के युवाओं से रिश्ता बनाने आया हूं।
In his fiery speech, Rahul Gandhi, without mincing any words, raised questions about the functioning of his own party. He said that there are two groups of congressmen in Gujarat, one that follows the party ideology and another that is working for the Bharatiya Janata Party. He said that until the Congress fulfills its own responsibility, the people of Gujarat will not support the party in the elections.
ऑपोजिशन चाहते हैं, विकल्प चाहते हैं, बी टीम नहीं चाहते हैं। तो मेरी जिम्मेदारी ये दो जो ग्रुप्स हैं इनको छानने का है। कांग्रेस पार्टी में नेताओं की कमी नहीं है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल, ब्लॉक लेवल, सीनियर लेवल नेता हैं, बबरशेर हैं, मगर पीछे से चेन लगी हुई है। और बब्बर शेर बंधे हुए हैं सब। एक बार मेरी मीटिंग हो रही थी, वहां पे शायद मध्य प्रदेश का डेलीगेशन था। एक कार्यकर्ता खड़ा हुआ, कहता है राहुल जी आप एक काम कर दीजिए। मैंने कहा क्या? कहता है 2 तरीके के घोड़े होते हैं, एक होता है रेस का, एक होता है शादी का। कांग्रेस पार्टी रेस के घोड़े को बारात में डाल देती है और बारात के घोड़े को रेस में डाल देती है। अब गुजरात की जनता देख रही है, गुजरात की जनता देख रही है, कह रही है भैया कांग्रेस पार्टी ने रेस में बारात का घोड़ा डाल दिया। तो अगर हमें रिश्ता बनाना है तो हमें 2 काम करने हैं। पहला काम, ये जो 2 ग्रुप हैं इनको अलग करना है सीधा। अगर हमें सख्त कार्रवाई करनी पड़ी, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 लोगों को निकालना पड़ा, निकाल देना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, taking a jibe at Rahul Gandhi, BJP leader and MP Sudhanshu Trivedi said that this is the first, in fact, instance that a leader of a major political party has humiliated its own party cadre. He accused the Congress's condition has gone worse in Gujarat after Sonia Gandhi is in power.
मुझे लगता है कि अपने पार्टी के ऊपर और जनता के ऊपर या संवैधानिक संस्थाओं के ऊपर या मीडिया के ऊपर दोषारोपण करते करते वो अपने लोगों पर भी दोषारोपण करने लगे। तो राहुल गांधी जी को मैं सुझाव देना चाहूंगा कि आप दूसरों में दोष देखना बंद करिए और आत्मावलोकन करिए। यू डू द सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि बुरा जो देखन मैं चला बुरा न मिलिया कोई, जो दिल खोजूं आपना मुझसा बुरा न कोई। मुझे लगता है राहुल गांधी जी को सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करना चाहिए। वो देश की हर संस्थाओं के ऊपर, देश की संवैधानिक संस्थाओं से लेके, देश की सरकार से लेके, जनता, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और अब अपनी पार्टी के लोगों को भी अपशब्दों का प्रयोग करने लगे हैं। इसीलिए
Moving on, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta chaired a cabinet meeting to clear the proposal of Mahila Samman scheme for rupees 2,500 financial assistance to the women in the national capital. The government announced the scheme at the Women's Day event in the national capital at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Women in the age group of 21 to 60 in Delhi with an annual income of not more than 2.5 lakh rupees are be eligible for the monthly assistance of rupees 2,500 under the draft proposal of BJP government's Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. The eligibility criteria were discussed in the meeting attended by the Delhi Chief Secretary and in fact said an official on the scheme, which was a major poll promise of the BJP in the assembly elections. In its Delhi Assembly election manifesto, the BJP promised to provide rupees 2,500 per month to women from poor families under the scheme once it came to power in Delhi. The opposition Aam Aadmi Party has criticized the Bharatiya Janata Party government for not approving the scheme in its first cabinet meeting despite PM Narendra Modi's promise in this very regard. The party held a protest at several places questioning the BJP over the delay in the implementation of the scheme.
33% रिजर्वेशन देने वाली बातें तो बहुत लोग करते थे, पर हमने वो सदन भी देखे हैं कि वो पर्चे वो लाते थे बिल और वहीं फाड़ दिए जाते थे और गायब हो जाते थे। सालों में नहीं हुआ। एकमात्र पार्टी, एकमात्र नेता जिसने हमें 33% रिजर्वेशन देके सम्मान दिया वो केवल नरेंद्र मोदी है। मैं जरूर बताना चाहूंगी कि आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी जिस एजेंडा को बहनों के सम्मान में देश में चला रहे हैं, उसी तरीके से हम दिल्ली में भी अपनी बहनों को सशक्त करने के लिए उनके स्वास्थ्य की, उनकी शिक्षा की, उनकी सुरक्षा की और उनकी समृद्धि के लिए हर वो काम करने वाले हैं जिसका वायदा हमने किया है।
Well, this International Women's Day, we bring you a special story from the launch of Continuum, the latest novel by author Sadhana Shankar. Her third book and the second venture into the science fiction. Continuum is set in the vibrant and, in fact, in the imaginary city of Murjala and weaves a tapestry of love, ambition, conflict and hope, spanning from the Mahabharata era to a futuristic world of another planet. In fact, the event saw thought-provoking discussions on promoting women authors in India sci-fi and exploring the role of technology in advancing women's empowerment. Let's take you straight to the event for a glimpse of the celebration, insightful panel discussion and a word of Sadhana Shankar herself. Let's have a look.
I'd like to say I'm very happy that it's been released on International Women's Day, because this story looks at how things have changed for women, how much they have changed from, say, the ancient times of the Mahabharata, that's how I've juxtaposed it, to the present times, and to what really maybe lies in the future in the arena of gender relations. So that is the continuum of time and space that I have tried to capture, and these are the two themes through this story, where most of my characters are young people trying to deal with issues of love, hope, ambition, with these two underlying themes. And it's the story of my past traveler and my future traveler, and whether they can actually travel together.
I would like to see this book in animated form. I was discussing with Mr. Mule. It should be brought out in some OTT platforms, some kind of a place where we can have a larger audience.
We are more than happy to have this book release function on International Women's Day, particularly because the author is a woman and the celebration of her book makes sense today.
Well, I think it's wonderful that on the occasion of International Women's Day, March 8th, we are launching a book which delves so deeply into the identity of a woman. And this is a book which traces the identity of the woman not just in the current day and age, but starting from the Mahabharata times, from the humiliation that Draupadi faced.
I think it's as I said, it's speculative fiction, but it's very interesting because science, there's the spirit of inquiry, and then there's a linking with the human spirit also in the world of imagination. And the present is just that little narrow space we have, between past and future. And that, I think, is brought out very nicely.
Continuum book हमारा बड़ा अच्छा और वरिष्ठ ऑफिसर रही है। डॉक्टर साधना शंकर जी का किताब लॉन्च किले में आए थे और किताब लॉन्च किया, बहुत अच्छा लगा और हम चाहते हैं कि लोग पढ़ें, चाहे बूढ़ा बूढ़ी बच्चे जवान सब किताब पढ़ना चाहिए। ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग किताब है।
My only words would be, please pick up and read the book. That's the first word, But on International Women's Day, I would say that since my book is delving into the ideas of how much change has happened and how much change is yet to happen, I would like to say that as women, we are a very privileged generation, and there is a lot that is changed for us over time in time, but yet we have a long way forward for a quantum leap in the idea of gender equality and gender parity. But we are very much on our way, and I think that's what we should be happy about.
Well, with that, it's a wrap from my side. News and Update continues on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're watching News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.